Hi, I'm Jean Schumacher, and welcome to Simply Plant-Based. I've got a great new website. It's got a lot of resources, lectures, interviews, videos, cooking videos, oh my gosh, to help you be successful living plant-based. And I have two programs. One is Plant-Based Beginnings, and this takes you through the basics of living plant-based. And then, once you've mastered that, we go on to continuing education. That picks right up where Plant-Based Beginnings leaves off. Because the key is to keep educating yourself. So tonight I have a special guest. This is Jeremy Glogower, and he started the Vegan Warriors at Wayne State University. Jeremy's lost 40 pounds, dropped his cholesterol 125 points, and reversed his diabetes, or pre-diabetes. Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Jeremy, for being here tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Well, tell us about your journey. What prompted this change?
So, believe it or not, it was an accident.
Okay.
Right? Who just falls into this? Well, I did. So, the story goes, I was about 36 years old. My aunt, who lives in New York, I live in Michigan, my aunt lives in New York, and she lost 100 pounds. And she was
Wow.
posting it all over Facebook. And she said it was because she went vegan. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, my poor aunt, she's developed an eating disorder. Clearly, I need to go save her from this veganism thing. Where is she getting her protein?
Right?
Oh my God, right?
Right?
So I went out to go save my aunt. And I got in the car. I drove 10 hours out to her house.
Really?
And yeah, sure did. I got out of the car, rang the doorbell, got up to the door. She opens the door and she looks at me and she says, Jeremy, what happened to you? And I know it's kind of funny, right? She wasn't being mean. She was just addressing the elephant in the room, which was I was heavy. I mean, and I did not look good. I was not the right color. I was, 5'5", 202 pounds on my little 5'5" frame. I said, I guess I'm eating too much and moving too little. That, it was my best guess at the time.
So wait, let me get this right. You who are overweight, sickly, you're going to help your aunt who's got this great vivacity and she's clearly lost 100 pounds and doing awesome.
And she looked so good and so healthy. I had no idea what was going on. I was so confused.
Okay. All right.
And so she was really concerned what I was going to eat while I was there. And she was going to cook me whatever I wanted. I said, Auntie, look at me. Food is my superpower. I'm going to eat anything you put in front of me. I love food. Vegan or not, I'm having what you're having. So for 10 days, I ate and she cooked, and I just ate what she cooked. And she cooked these incredible plant-based meals. I mean, we had like General Tso's tofu, we had Southwest salsa salads, with chips and salsa, and I mean, just like all kinds of stuff. Like at no point was I looking at it saying, "Oh, I don't recognize this," or "It's rabbit food." So that was sort of my first
Right? Because
tip off.
everybody thinks you eat grass and bark, tree bark, you know?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And twigs and
Right.
no, that's just for special occasions, the twigs.
Right.
So, it was kind of remarkable. It was about a day. I had been there about a day, and I realized after lunch the next day that I didn't have that 2:30 feeling, where you're just kind of sluggish and heavy. And I thought, that's kind of unique. It's been a long time since I haven't had a 2:30 feeling. And I thought, well, it was a long drive. I got a really good night's sleep. Maybe that's what's going on. I didn't know yet that it was the food. I had no idea.
It's the food.
Right? It
Totally.
was totally the food.
Totally.
So by the third day, my energy is just through the roof. Like I'm talking, I'm running around. I feel like walking and talking, and I'm feeling good. So by day 10, fast forward to day 10, like my body has stopped aching on a regular basis,
Now
right?
you're still at your aunt.
And I'm still at my aunt's,
Okay.
right? And I'm physically stronger now by day 10, right? Like I'm helping my aunt move stuff around the house. I'm picking up tables. And she says, wow, look how strong Jeremy is. I said, I don't know what's going on. This isn't, this is, I'm super strong right now. I don't know. So it occurred to me by day 10, I was in a little bit of a bind because I felt better than I had felt in 10 years. And I mean that truly. And I think anybody who would have tried this for 10 days and was in the position I was would absolutely stick with it. There'd be no reason you'd turn around and go back. And for me, there was no going back. The problem was I was not quite ready to say, oh, I'm giving up, this or that, or I'm going to call myself a vegan, or, I wasn't quite ready for that. And so I had to kind of wrap my head around that, which I eventually did. And it all turned out good. That was sort of my transformational experience there. And that was an accident. I went to go save my aunt from this.
But she saved you.
She saved me. Absolutely, she did.
Go
Turned my entire life around.
Go Auntie.
Right?
Now, had she gone through like some education, or did she just watch some videos and decide I'm going to do this? How did she start?
Yeah, so she found Furman. Is what kind of kicked her off.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how she found Furman. But I'm so glad she did, because she sent me home with videos of Furman. So for my 10-hour drive home, I listened to 10 hours of Furman talking and giving lectures. And that it took everything I knew about nutrition and it turned it upside down.
Right?
I mean, up was down, left was right. And I was starting to get a little uncomfortable, to tell you the truth.
It's a lot.
But finally,
it's a lot of
light bulb went off over my head. It was just like it was drinking from a fire hose. And Furman finally said something that resonated with me. And that's when the light bulb went off over my head. He said, it was something along the lines, and I can't quote it exactly, but he said that a piece of meat and a piece of bread have the same amount of nutrition, which is none. Okay. And I thought to myself, this guy's crazy. The meat's filled with protein and it's so good. And then you have this terrible bread that's filled with carbohydrates. But he went on to say, he said, yeah, they're both completely devoid of fiber, phytonutrients, phytochemicals, vitamins, minerals, everything your body wants and needs. It's devoid. It's just empty calories and it's not in there. And that was sort of my moment. And the light bulb went off right about there. So that was sort of another transformational moment that I had in my journey.
Okay. Wow. Well, how did you know like you were pre-diabetic?
So I had known for a couple of years actually at that point.
Okay.
When I was 34 years old, my doctor tried to put me on statins. I said, Doc, can't I just try diet and exercise? And he literally patted me on the back and he kind of chuckled. He said, sure, Jeremy, you can try. And he was right. I mean, for the next 2 years, all I did was get heavier and sicker, and my blood work just got worse and worse. He didn't mention anything about plant-based. No. He didn't know anything at the time. I mean, he knows now. He's learned a lot. He follows Dr. Greger, and so that's kind of amazing too.
Yeah, but yeah, most of the doctors you do have to educate.
You do. It's kind of amazing. I had 2 doctors, and I kind of took them through an educational process, and I actually had one of my doctors sent in a resident, and she said, Jeremy, teach this guy about nutrition. So
wow.
I did.
That's great. That's great. That's great. Okay. So does high cholesterol does it run in your family?
So the cholesterol specifically, I'm not sure. But I do know that heart disease and vascular disease runs in my family. There's been heart attacks, heart disease, and even dementia, which was probably vascular dementia, though I don't know for sure. And so, all the telltale signs are there. But, the other good thing that's in my family, there's some longevity in the family as well, which tells me that I don't have to make it to the end all beat up, right? I can arrive with style. Which is my plan.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Love
exactly. It. So, and from having a doctor trying to put me on statins at 34, and the pre-diabetic, I was knocking, I was ahead of, what am I trying to say? I was moving quickly towards, what it took other people in my family a lifetime to achieve in terms of, health problems.
Well, how long did it take for your cholesterol to drop 125 points?
Oh, so the first 100 points came off. I don't think I had it checked for another 4 to 6 months. But when I had it checked, it was down 100 points.
And did your doctor go, what?
Yeah.
Must be
Right?
bad blood work.
Yeah, it must have been a glitch or something, right? Exactly.
Did you get
and then
that?
It kind of
Because I got that. I got that.
Did you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of people get the glitch. Oh, it must have been something wrong. Come back, we'll do it again. And I don't recall him ever giving any, being startled by it. He was just like, "Oh, good, now you don't have to be on statins." Which, he should have asked. How often does a doctor say that?
Not very often in this day and age. No.
That right there.
No.
So, yeah. And then it bounced around for a number of years, right around that spot. It didn't bounce too far. But what took it down another 25 points fairly recently is when I cut out coffee from my diet, which was something I never thought I'd do. But I heard Dr. Greger talk about some research relating coffee and cholesterol. And so I said, I can do this as an experiment for 30 days. And I did. And boom, 25 points right away. So it's not that I'm caffeine free now. I'll still have caffeine. I just don't have it from coffee. I have it from tea. So anybody who's listening or watching and going, "Oh my goodness, I could never do that." Well, you can.
It's true. Most people think, "Oh my God, I can't do this. No way. I got to have my stuff." Whatever. But your body changes, and your taste buds change, and your body adjusts. It's amazing. And
it is amazing. And what I noticed is it doesn't change overnight, but it definitely changes when you're not looking.
Oh God.
And,
I got to share one story with you because I used to love Dunkin' Donuts Honeycrisp donuts. I mean, seriously, if there was a box, I'm down for 3. And don't get between me and the box because you'll get hurt. I'm just saying, right? Okay? So after I went plant-based, and I hadn't had a donut in a couple of years, and somebody left, because I wasn't going out and buying one. That's just me. But somebody had left some in the teacher's room, and I opened up the box, and there was one honey glazed donut there. And I said, "Oh, it's got my name on it, clearly."
Right.
Yep. And I open the box, and I do this. You look around. Is there anybody looking? Nobody's looking. Okay, I take the donut, and I started eating it, and it went, "Oh my God, this is nasty. This is so bad. Oh my God, did they change the formula? What? Did the donuts go downhill?" No. My taste buds changed.
You changed.
I changed.
Yeah.
And I actually spit it out. And if you had never said to me I'd spit out a Dunkin' Donuts donut,
right?
You're on drugs. No, clearly. You don't get this. So. No, it's true. It's true. So what is the biggest change you've noticed in your taste buds?
Oh. So I feel like I really taste food now. In fact, what I've uncovered is that I actually have a palate. And, and it can appreciate a lot of different things. And it can tell when something's boring too. I used to think I was a foodie. And I was kind of right because I was ready to dig right into that vegan food that my aunt was cooking. But now I know I'm a foodie because I'm more obsessed with food now than I ever was in my entire life.
Right? It's true. I carry mine with me. Do you?
Sometimes, yeah, I'll take my lunch to work, but I also have a refrigerator and at work, and I have my Instapot is at work, and I have a blender. I can cook there, so I don't have to take it.
Nice. Okay. Well, I don't have time to cook. I mean, because I teach during the day, so Anyway, so has your family, have they followed your lead in this change? I mean, besides your aunt, clearly.
Yeah, right. She's the one leading the charge. They're not purists, but they're definitely taking they're following along. They're doing a lot better than they were, and they're even healthier for having done so. So, while they're not, they're not as tight as say I would be. No, they still allow other things in the diet, but they're definitely, they've made strides and progress, and they're doing good.
That's great because you're leading by example, and that's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. I mean, even though I've done this, I've lost at this point 100 pounds myself. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
my family still hasn't. Like, we're like food addicts. I mean, there's food addiction is huge in my family, huge,
Mm-hmm.
literally.
I
Because
hear you.
yeah, wow. But I'm the only one who's gone over to the dark side. So, so what prompted you to start the Wayne State University Vegan Warriors?
Okay, so I decided that I'm going to go back to school.
Okay.
And so I decided I'm going to get a degree in business. Somebody put a whisper in my ear. They said, Jeremy, you can do anything you want in life. You're going to do it better with a degree in business. And I couldn't argue. I said, you're absolutely right. And that prompted me. I went back to school and I decided I'm really going to have my school experience here. I'm going to dig this. I'm going to enjoy it. And I thought, there's got to be a vegan organization here. I'm going to join it. I'm going to build it up. I'm going to do what I can with it. Let's see where it is, where it can go. And I got there and there was no vegan organization.
Nothing.
I said, I couldn't believe it. Nothing.
Now, were you living
And
on campus?
no,
No, commuting.
no, yeah, commuting.
Okay.
So I said, okay, well, here's my open door. I'm going to start this thing, and we're gonna take it and see where it goes. So it's been really exciting so far. We haven't we're having our first events this semester, but last semester we spent all our time, getting interest. We've got pages and pages of email addresses. People are interested. I couldn't believe the level of interest. It was incredible right off the get go. But I think we're here. As a society, I think we're at the point where this makes sense. People are interested. They want to do it. And if they don't know about it, they want to know more. They don't understand why everybody else is doing it. And they kind of want to wrap their heads around it. So one of the important things I've done is I've also made the Vegan Warriors into a plant pure pod so that
Excellent.
people from around town can come, right? Exactly. And they can come and join in us, and what we're doing also. And we're going to do food demos. We're going to do movie nights. We're going to have lectures. I'll do talks, education. It's compassion through nutrition, I think, is a great way to approach it. So, it's all about building community. Communities, it's important to me. It's when I feel at home is when I have the community around me, and so it's not there, so I'm just going to build it.
So, how many people are in your group now?
Oh, we've got, I want to say 4 or 5 pages. I haven't counted the number of, but it's
So, have you had meetings and get-togethers and?
no, because literally this is the launch. This is, there was nothing. And last semester I said, okay, I'm going to make it happen. I started putting my team together. I've got 3 people in my core team who are, in the core with me and are going to plan the activities. We've got our first event lined up for January 15th. It's going to be a meet and greet, and where everyone's going to get to come and say hello to each other. Should be a real community building event.
Excellent. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have food potluck?
Not on the first one, because
Okay.
it's just what I need at this point is I need some more horsepower behind me, because I can't do it all by myself. It's
Right.
so much to do,
It
and
is.
I can
Most
build
people
the
don't
framework,
realize.
but I need some more champions with me. I know I'll find them. They'll be there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe you might want to show Plant Pure Nation at the first meeting.
Yeah, I was thinking that actually, and I almost did. I invited T. Colin Campbell and Nelson to come when they were in town, but they weren't able to come,
Oh,
so we put off that meeting. But we do have a good promise for next time, so looking forward to
nice.
that.
Nice. Amazing. So, did you find people receptive to your group?
Oh yeah. There was immediate interest. I mean, you still get the people who don't get it. They say, "Oh, I'm an omnivore or I'm a carnivore." it kind of scares them a little bit still. And but I think I'm seeing less of it on campus, you know, than I do with maybe my other peer groups.
Hmm. How long have you been plant-based now?
So I've been plant-based for 5 years now.
Wow.
Yeah. And I didn't, it's especially amazing because I didn't see it coming. So here I am 5 years later.
Right? I think you should have Auntie come and hang out at the meetings. You
Oh, for
know,
sure. Absolutely.
here's the
Yeah.
inspiration for this group.
Right?
Well, do you get the question, where do you get your protein?
I do. I do. I get it a lot. So I've gotten really good at handling
Well, what's
it.
your answer? What's your
So,
stock? How do you handle it?
it depends, on any given situation. If it's an intimate situation and it's one-on-one and I genuinely want to educate somebody, I'll tell them where my protein comes from. You know, but if that's not the case, I'll say I don't know.
It's like Doug Lyle, he's
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And that's where I learned it was from Doug
yeah,
Lyle.
yeah, right?
That's exactly. And it works. It works so good
Yeah,
because you don't need to know, and especially if somebody's new at this, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to know everything, and it's not even fair to put that on yourself to try to answer these questions. If you don't know, it's totally fair to say I don't know.
yeah. Or it seems to be working for me. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've had my protein tested and it seems to be working.
right. I'm not low.
Yeah, right? Seems to be working. It's good. It's good. What other questions do you get?
Oh, yeah. So I hear a lot. Oh, I bet you eat a lot of salad.
Right?
Which prompted me, and my response is kind of, for a while was, well, if you see me eating a salad, there's probably like a shortage of real food. There's like some sort of terrible food shortage. There's nothing else around. And all I could find was a salad.
Right?
And prompted me to name I'm writing a cookbook, and it's in the works. It's not completed yet.
Nice.
And I hope to have it launched,
Uh-huh.
by the middle late this year. Crossing my fingers. Hope so.
Excellent.
Um,
What's it
yeah,
called?
it's called Beyond the Salad.
Great! That's awesome. That is
Right?
awesome. That is amazing. I love it.
Because
Because
we got to
that's,
get beyond this whole salad thing,
oh my
right?
God. Uh,
Like,
That's why I actually put out a video, and I had with Kim Campbell. She and I go back and forth. We've been doing a plant-based show, plant-based living, and she's an amazing photographer with her food. So I asked her, "Can I borrow some of your pictures?" And so between her pictures and my pictures, I made about a 3-minute video where I showed a picture every second of
nice.
of food after food after food after food. And like halfway through, I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm not even halfway done.
Right?
Sit back.
It's
Let's
amazing.
food
Like, I put
porn."
a picture of my food on Facebook. People lose their minds like, wow, send me that recipe.
I know, right? It's
Right?
good
I'm
stuff,
like, are you sure it's vegan?
right? I mean, the variety is just so endless. It's
Hmm.
amazing. It's just amazing. And I'll never forget, I went to a restaurant and I called ahead because it was our school went there as a Christmas, whatever, get together. And I called ahead and I said, I use the word vegan, and I say I can't have oil or salt. And I said, can you do something? Oh, absolutely. The chef, no problem. I'll tell the chef he can whip something up. Not a problem. And did I get there? What did I get? I got a steamed plate of vegetables. That was it.
Oh. Well, hey, at least you got
Mm,
that. But I feel your frustration. When I was sort of going through my learning curve of how to order at the restaurants, I would get, I'd see a plate of veggies and I'd order it and it would come and it would just be soaked in oil. And I'd be like, oh, they got me. I forgot to specify, I
right.
ordered vegetables. I didn't order vegetables covered in oil. It didn't, you
And
know.
the other thing that bothers me is now they're like, you can't even get like a baked potato because what they do is they
Oh, I know.
inject it with oil, butter, salt, so that as it's cooking, it's nice and moist and all this other stuff. And it's like, are you kidding me? I can't even get
Hmm.
a plain baked potato.
But all I
Seriously.
want is food. real food that has been.
I know. It's sad. It's sad. So do you find it challenging living as a vegan or plant-based?
The food thing I've got down pat. I feel like ninja level 12 at at navigating the food.
So tell me
So
what's a day in your life like?
a day in my life,
I mean, like in terms of food.
in terms of food, it's kind of always a new adventure. So, for example, there's a lot of leftovers because I tend to, if I'm gonna make something, I'm gonna make enough for like 3 days at
Right.
least. Because I can't. Yeah, and that's one of the things people complain about. They're like, I can't spend all my time cooking. Well, you know what? Neither can I. So get used to some leftovers. It's all right.
Yeah, I batch
Um,
cook on the weekends. Absolutely.
yeah.
I make huge amounts, and by Sunday night my refrigerator is jam packed with
Hmm.
dishes and ready to go. I can just pull it out and put it in my cooler and go. So,
Right. Exactly. So I'll give you an example of something I made the other day. It was just totally easy, and I just threw it together. Which was I just sautéed some vegetables in some balsamic vinegar on the stove, threw them onto a plate, and then I made some. It was sort of a kale hummus, right? So it was
uh-huh.
like hummus, and then I jammed a bunch of kale in there also, so it came out like green kale hummus. It was good. It was good, and I poured it all over my vegetables, and I ate it. That was lunch, dinner, and breakfast, and lunch.
Well, one of the things I do is I take hummus and I'll take like 1 or 2 tablespoons of a hummus, and
Mm.
then I'll add some water to it to thin it out, and then I'll add it to things like rice, and then you can add steamed
Oh
vegetables to
yeah,
it.
hummus is incredible when you thin it out. Yeah,
Yes.
especially you can thin it with a little lemon juice or some balsamic vinegar or even water like you did. Yeah, and it can become a salad dressing. It can become, I mean, if you want to toss it in with some tomato sauce and whole wheat pasta, that's delicious. I don't know if you've tried that. If you haven't, you should.
Okay, that sounds
Yep.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, have
And
you tried the Bima and Paz balsamic vinegar?
no, I don't have any brand loyalty at this point to vinegars.
Well, she has, her name's Chef Terry, and I met her at Plant Stock, which they used to have at the Esselstyn Farm in
Mm.
upstate New York.
Oh yeah.
And she came and brought, I mean, she's got like these amazing flavors, like to die for. Oh my gosh. And they're just so good. I've never seen any other places that have these balsamic vinegars to this
Okay, and they're
level.
kind of sweet, right?
Some are sweet. So it depends upon the each one. But my favorites, my
Yeah,
personal favorites, are sweet.
you're right. Yeah.
My
Yeah,
top two favorites are racy mango and
uh,
pineapple.
okay.
And then I like to do like for like that, like what you were talking about with the hummus. I would use
Mm,
like the sesame ginger. Oh,
mm,
wow,
that
so
sounds
good.
good.
Mix that with a little bit of hummus. Oh my God, we're talking Jedi level here. Seriously, I mean, in terms of food. Oh my God, it's amazing. Well, thank you so much, Jeremy, for taking the time for away from your studies, and thank you so much for being here tonight. It's been a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, it's been my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
And good luck with your book. And you have to let us know when it's out, and we can help let other people know about it because yeah, we do have we're beyond the salad. Totally,
We are.
totally. Well, don't you didn't you set up a website too?
I did. I did. And you can find it at www.beyondthesalad.com and you can check it out. And there's going to be teaser recipes, to get you started, some
Nice.
teasers from the book and some of my favorites, and along with good general information.
Well
Oh,
done.
one thing I forgot to tell you about
Please.
is my dog.
No.
I have a dog who's primarily plant-based.
Okay.
She will lose her mind for chickpeas or bell peppers.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I was buying her dog food. I'll tell you the story here.
Uh-huh.
I was buying her dog food for the longest time. And then when I made the switch, I started feeding her some of the stuff I was eating. And at first, by the way, I was making some terrible stuff. There was a learning curve for me for cooking. And I was making things so bad my poor dog wouldn't touch it.
That's bad if the dog won't even eat it. That
Right?
is. Oh my
But one
gosh.
day, I put down a bowl of chickpeas. I said, "Here, have some chickpeas." She loved it. And then I was giving her the option between the bowl of dog food and the bowl of chickpeas. I let her pick. And she was picking the chickpeas every time. I said, why am I buying you dog food?
Well, I actually make my own dog food as well.
Do you?
I do. And I found it from I kind of got the idea from a vet out in California. He wrote a book called The Dog Dish Diet.
Mm.
And basically this vet, he's a vet, and he said, I would say 9 out of 10 dogs that come in to see me and for me to treat them are ones that if you just change their diet, they wouldn't have to come in. Hello,
Yeah.
just like humans,
I know, right? Isn't it amazing?
I know.
Our pets are now, they're dying of the same things we're dying
Yeah.
of.
Well, if you look at it, the only animals in the entire world that are obese and have major health issues are the ones either humans or the ones living with humans.
Right,
so,
exactly.
so,
Exactly.
but I make my dog food and I batch cook and I make like about 2 months worth of food. And like I make this huge pot of rice and then I'll put vegetables and then I'll put quinoa and lentils and chickpeas and cucumbers and
Mhm.
celery and I just keep making these sedimentary layers in these. I make these tubs and I put them in the freezer and freeze them,
Okay,
and
you
so
freeze
I
it.
have it.
Okay.
I just went and bought one of those deep sea, deep freezers from like Home Depot. It was like
That's a good
$200.
idea. Yeah.
And I just make like one day. I just make like it's an all day event, not all day, but a couple of hours in the kitchen. That I'm cooking, cut prepping, and I'll have two or three instant pots going at one
Yeah.
time, and and I've got this pot going on the stove, more on this one, and I just keep looking. And it's also a clean out the refrigerator time too.
Right? Yeah.
That goes in too.
Totally get it.
Well, and another thing that I add too is like when I cut up kale stems and I strip the kale and I've got the stems there. I'll just freeze. I cut them up into little
Mhm.
tiny pieces and I freeze them, and then I'll put that and add that in as well.
Oh,
So,
okay.
nothing goes to waste at my house.
Yeah, I
So,
don't waste anything either. I'm really good at that.
well,
It's important to
Jeremy,
me. Food waste drives me crazy.
yeah, no, for sure, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Jeremy, thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and good luck with the Vegan Warriors, and
Thank you.
good luck with your book.
Thank you.